what are we doing in the black community? The number one consumer of a Mercedes-Benz is us. Us. The number one consumer of a Gucci and a Louis Vuitton, us. And they don't even advertise. Why is it that in the black community, we are always the number one consumer, but we're not the number one creators?
So you just said it, the fact that there's consumers and creators. For so long, we assume success based on consumption.
Welcome back to Closing the Gap, the truth about black wealth. We're back here again to kind of dive into some more topics and information to continue to educate people and hopefully help the community, help us to close the gap. So, Rico, thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. Let's go.
Right. Joe, like I said, man, I am taking in a lot of knowledge because, like I said, I feel like this stuff can be over people's head, man. Real talk, like this, I understand, like some people are professionals and they understand the lingo, but for some of us, man, it's like speaking a foreign language. So when it comes to our community, man, how does lack of professionals in this industry, there are people who want to put on like they're professionals, how does it hurt us, man? Like,
man, real talk, that people perish due to lack of knowledge. And, like I said, we're looking for information and, that's a great thing. But, the lack of professionals, what I mean by professionals, that means a person that's licensed, certified, experienced, expertise. Because, for me and my company, we stand on three things. It's education,
right,
expertise, leads to proper execution. If you don't have the proper education, if you're not licensed and certified, if you don't have the experiences where you've worked with clients, and you telling me you just read a Dave Ramsey book and you listen to Susan Orman, and now all of a sudden you think you're a financial guru because you understand how to repair a little credit, and all of a sudden you put yourself on as this financial advocate and you teach your financial literacy. I'm like, well, the things that you hear most people talking about are the basics.
Right.
It's checking, it's don't spend more than you make. Well, we all know that.
Right.
The trick is doing it,
But
so.
you got to look at it from our people, man, we come from an entertainment background. So we had to entertain slave masters back in the day.
Absolutely.
So we're attracted to entertainment. So if a unprofessional financial advisor come to us, we're looking to be entertained.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When has money ever been entertaining?
What do you mean by that?
People who got the most money, do they entertain?
No.
But they look to see knowledge and professionalism.
That makes sense.
So we got to start thinking about, okay, how do they operate on a real situation? We just keep it real simple. Like, we can look at politics. Everybody familiar with what's been going on in this country.
Right.
The people that they put on the pedestal for us in our community are entertainers. The people they put on the pedestal in their community are never entertainers. They're never athletes. They're business, professional, trained, educated.
Ooh, man, I never thought about that.
It's never athletes and entertainers. That's not who they put out because that's not your specialty.
Right.
And then, unfortunately, in our community, we put too much pressure on athletes to be the voice and face of our community.
Right.
Most of them are 22 to 32 years of age.
Right.
Have a specialized skill that they've been utilizing since they was probably in junior high, have been put in an environment where they focused on that one skill set to help make their money. So it's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
That's great. But now we've put that celebrity on them and we're expecting them to be the conscience and voice of America for us.
Because our community is looking for another Martin Luther King. We need somebody to lead the people.
Well, that's the thing. Martin Luther King want to entertain them. Being able to entertain is different from being an entertainer.
Okay.
So I feel like in my path, I'm a financial advisor. I do that 24/7, 365. This is my ministry. This is my calling. This is my passion. But I got a gift to be able to entertain while doing it.
Right.
I can be entertaining while talking finance.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I'm an entertainer. So we have to get out of this mindset of looking for entertainment and start looking for substance. So you have to think about marketing in general. If a company is marketing on TV, 75% of this country is lower in middle lower income America. It's 75% of the country. So if a company is marketing on TV all the time, who they marketing to?
Lower income people.
So if I want the results of somebody making a higher income, I probably don't need to be taking advice from what's on the TV.
That's true.
I tell people like this: Rolls Royce and Bentley don't advertise. People with money know where to go to get them.
That's right. That's right.
Because they do the due diligence. Like I say, this the old adage of
Right.
you want black folks to to stay dumb, put the information in the book because we don't read. Nowadays, Google has made things more accessible.
Right.
Social media has made the reach closer for us to get in contact with one another, but unfortunately, we're seeking the wrong information, and by us looking for entertainment, we're getting bad advice. We get in our community.
Right.
And this ain't no knock. Well, you know what it is a knock. It's a shot.
It is what it is.
I don't care for Primerica. It has nothing to do with Primerica's game plan as a company, because as a company strategy, they make good decisions that are profitable for the company.
Right.
But it's hurt our community more than anybody else's, because this is what happens. Somebody says a Primerica term policy. Oh man, you should come do this too. You say you was in the coal mine and now you run the marketing organization, the marketing company. And they said, man, you know what, you know a lot of people. Man, you can sell this insurance to make some extra money on the side.
Right.
And then you can recruit other people to be under you. That's a multi-level marketing company. That's not a financial advising firm.
Right.
So now you got the blind leading the blind. You got people that, well, I just sold a policy, so you need to come sell this policy. And it's a trickle-down effect. So now we got people out there paying themselves to those financial professionals, those financial advisors that are not trained, licensed, certified. With Primerica, they'll get somebody with a temporary license. You don't even have to be fully licensed in insurance.
Probably up under theirs.
They'll give you a temporary license. They'll give you like a temporary 6-month license. Depending on your state, it's different various states, but you get a temporary license to sell to see if you like it. So now we out there selling ourselves and paying ourselves as financial advisors, and they're the ones that are in the community, hustling, trying to sell, and we're getting the information from them.
Right.
So when a person has talked to that person, then all of a sudden they meet somebody like me, and I sit down and I start asking questions. Okay, well, what are your goals and objectives? They're like, huh? Like you said, they want to be sold. Black people want to be sold, not told. I want to educate. I want to empower. I want to help, so you can make better decisions, not just trick and flip for my personal gain.
Right. That's
Back in a minute. Welcome to Hamilton Wealth Advisors, where our goal is to change the financial landscape of the African American community by providing the best of the best in financial professionals to help close the gap on financial wellness, wealth creation, and wealth transference. We're continuing to expand and grow our reach and add qualified advisors to our team. Help us to teach our community how to create generational wealth. We're looking for passionate, selfless, and professional advisors that pride themselves in the core beliefs that education plus expertise leads to proper execution. So if you think this opportunity may be for you, ask yourself this question: what is your why? And if the answer is you want to be a professional successor advisor that makes a positive impact in the lives of all you come into contact with, contact us about joining our team today. As we look to move forward, continue to be a blessing to those who would never come into contact with by creating a successful financial plan today. Welcome back. Back here at Closing the Gap, man. Just kind of picking back up where we left off, and like I said, I'm obviously you can tell I'm extremely passionate about this, and this is
You don't play on
this
games.
is this is my gift, this is my area, and I stay in my lane.
Right.
But one of the things from a perception standpoint, like I said, how do we close the gap, and even from a reality standpoint, how the mismanagement, misrepresentation has affected our community. So, for a long time, insurance companies were told, and they told their insurance agents not to sell valuable life insurance policies to African Americans. So what we understood as insurance was, burial policies. We didn't, we would think, okay, well, grandma got $10,000. Well, we got 15. What's all? I don't need no more.
enough.
It's just enough for burial. I'm like, well, life insurance is the most tax efficient investment tool ever created, because nothing you can invest in and transfers totally tax-free the way life insurance does.
Okay.
Not just as an investment tool, but the actual death benefit as well.
Right.
Now the closest thing to it would be like a Roth IRA.
Right.
You put your money in and it grows tax-free, and you can put it back out tax-free, but that has stipulations on it, has limits on how much you put in. But from a life insurance standpoint, but if we're not allowed to purchase those valuable life insurance policies, so the introduction to life insurance from our community is small burial policies. We didn't understand that they were utilized to transfer wealth. We didn't understand that that's how they created generational wealth in their communities.
I didn't know that.
We think that it's all stock market. I'm like, stock market is a piece of it. But this was the game. The game was, great-great-granddad on their side, had a $500,000 insurance policy. And if that's 1955, and that passes to the next generation, well, I got a $500,000 head start.
Right.
So now my kids' college tuition is already paid for. My kids' first house are paid for.
Man.
I'm strictly saving. So now the money that I'm making, I can strictly invest. And now I can take advantage of the stock market because I have the right recipe.
Right.
I got protection and structure over here that if something happened to me, my family's taken care of. But then I can take those calculated risks in the stock market with the gains over there. So, but we don't see that.
Right.
So we get introduced to the insurance on our side, and we just some burial policy, just some burial. So that's that part of that misinformation. But also back to what we were talking about with like the Primerica, and their whole message is buy term, invest the difference. Well, this is why that's flawed. And theoretically, it can work, but only for a select group of people. So that message was designed for a Caucasian CEO, 35 years of age, making $200,000 to $250,000 a year. The reason why that is they can max out a 401k, putting $20,000, $19,500 a year into it, maxing it out, getting company match and all that kind of good stuff. Then they can turn around, they can save $50,000 a year into a brokerage investment account. So they're investing on both sides.
Right.
Now by the time that person's 65, their net worth is easily, $5-10 million easily, because they've been investing for 30 years, and that compound interest, the eighth wonder of the world, and kicked in repeatedly. So at that point in time, do they need life insurance? It can be a benefit, but it's not a necessity.
Right.
So that same message of buy term and invest difference comes to our community. First of all, we don't get that job at 35 being the CEO.
Exactly.
Making $250. It ain't coming from many of us.
Right.
The opportunity's not there. So most of us is working, average income making $40,000 to $50,000 a year, right? So we bought the term, but we ain't had the money to invest the difference. So what happens is they say that term at 35. First off, only 2% of term insurance policies actually pay out at death. Because they sell it to you when you're 30, 35, when they know you ain't died. They did the numbers.
Right.
They did the actuarial tables where they know demographically who's going to pass and when, and your lifespan. So they understand. They saying, look, sell it to them at 30, 35.
Right.
You're going to invest that money for the next 30 years into that insurance policy. At the end of that 30, 35 years, guess what? You have no more life insurance because it was a term policy.
Right.
Term is renting. You're renting the insurance for a specific period of time.
Right.
Permanent insurance is permanent. It's for life, regardless of how long you live.
Whole term.
Whole life.
Whole life. Right.
So you have that insurance where it's term. You bought that 35. Now you 65. But at 65, now man, you ready to retire. You got kids. You may got some grandkids. Like, man, don't leave a legacy for my kids. I wanna leave something to my grandkids. Well, you're 65 now. Well, the term policy is gonna be out the door. You can't buy another term policy because now you're too old. You're phased out.
That's right.
Not only that, if you want to now get a different kind of policy, you get the cost of a 65-year-old.
Exactly.
Also, do you qualify from a health standpoint? And even worse, on Primerica, they don't even sell the whole life to be able to convert you to. So you provided no solution to my problem. Now, let's just say the person did invest the difference. 2008, I met a lot of people, in the business, and they had followed that method.
Right.
Why bought term invested difference? Okay. Stock market was doing great. 2008 happens.
It went down.
Worst crash since the Great Depression.
Yep.
Life insurance expired, so I ain't got that no more. Just say they had $500,000 in their retirement account.
Right.
They wake up next day, now they got $300. So not only is your retirement now shot, where's the legacy gonna come from to pass on to your kids? Because you got no insurance. But even on top of that, this is one thing they ain't think about. For African Americans, most of our money is inside of our 401ks. Most of us don't have brokerage accounts because we hadn't sought the financial advice.
Right.
We're waking up and starting to do more of that, but most of our assets are tied up into company retirement plans, right?
Right.
That money's taxable. So that $300,000 you got in your 401k really ain't $300,000.
Right.
It's really close to about $240,000.
Exactly.
Because Uncle Sam gonna get his cut when you take it out.
Exactly.
So understand that now. What's going to the next generation? So where's that legacy at?
Right.
So this is why our generations and our communities, we're continually having to start over
Right.
when the next person comes versus get ahead. They're ahead and staying ahead.
Right.
We're behind and staying behind because of a mindset. And that's because we're taking information that's out there
Right.
that wasn't necessarily designed for us, but now we're applying it to us.
Right.
So, tip you all the time. People say, well, insurance is bad, annuities are bad, the stock market's bad, I lost my money. No. You just had a bad advisor that put you in the wrong product at the wrong time. You had a bad result. It had nothing to do with what you were in. Right. All those things are beneficial, but too much of anything can kill you.
Right. You gotta know how to play it.
You gotta know how to play the game.
Because our community, man, we lucky if our parents pay the house off, especially in the house that we buy in today's time.
Oh, yeah.
We lucky, that we get the house paid off.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's a super bonus if you are actually closing the gap and sought out a financial advisor.
Well, absolutely, and that's the trick to it is, if you want to be better, you have to seek someone who has more information.
Right.
It's like most of us go to church, grew up in church, around church, some way, shape, form, fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you go to church? To hear the word on Sunday.
All right. Because he knew that Bible better than you did.
Yeah, but you can read the Bible, right?
Yeah.
But some told you, I need to get up and go get some information. He got something I ain't got.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we apply that to every other phase of life?
True.
Professionalism, expertise is something that we're sorely lacking and missing in our community,
Right.
unfortunately, because we think we can do it all. Well, I read a book on that. Well, my friend did that. Okay,
Right.
are they licensed in that? Do they have degrees in that? Who have they worked with in it? How long have they been doing it? So these are questions that when I'm meeting with other professionals, they're asking me, well, how long have you been doing what you're doing? Well, tell me this, better yet, why are you doing what you're doing?
Right.
I want to know the why.
Right.
Because if you in whatever you in to make money, you're not going to do your best for me.
Right.
If your why is to make a positive impact, now I know you're in for service. Because service leads to a greater good for us all, and me helping you benefits me.